Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sitting here with a titan in the industry of fashion, a close friend of mine, Demetrious. He's more like a brother, man. And what's interesting is he has such a parallel upbringing to mine that we just identify on so many different levels. I wanted to invite him on to have a conversation around business and economics, and wherever he wants to take the conversation, I'm willing to go. I know a lot about you, man. I'm gonna let you introduce yourself and tell the world who you are and what you represent.
First and foremost, Demetrious Pitt, from Brooklyn, New York, but my seed was watered and grown in Roosevelt, Long Island.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Roosevelt, Long Island, home of Eddie Murphy,
We just talked
Dr.
about
J, some greats there, and both sides. I always try to tell folks when they talk about the 5 boroughs, but all 5 boroughs are actually on Long Island when you think about it.
Okay.
But so that's where I'm from. And what was the other question?
What you represent, man?
What I represent, just an honest man, funny, caring brother, also guarded as well, different aspects of just things that I've been through. But really, to be honest, I'm an open book. I tell people, I said, you look at some of the greatest people that have lived this planet, the dopest folks has been the most open people. So I feel like I live that way because I don't really care if anyone judge me, got something to say about me. I don't care. It's not going to stop what I want to do, the type of fun, the people I'm going to meet. That's how I am. That's me.
Love it. I can testify to that statement. You walk in such a confidence, and maybe that speaks to what you just said. How did you even get into fashion, man?
Okay, I got into fashion from my dad. My dad was one of those dudes where he could have did absolutely anything that he wanted to because he just had this natural gift about him. Graduated high school when he was like 16.
Wow.
He was a model. He was like the flyest dude in his area. My mom told me one day she seen him walking down the street and she was just like, "Oh, that's gonna be my husband." So I got that from him.
Okay.
So it was just, whether it was Easter Sundays or, just any day of the week, he always just had us dress head to toe, suits, or you had certain urban brands which was dope during the time, like Damaged, Used. I'm not sure if y'all know about those brands.
Yeah, a little bit.
Cross color.
Cross colors.
Like, so I was Lacoste. He was always wearing that kind of vibe while I was young. Or you would see him double breast suit. So that was just always the aesthetic that I always seen.
Nice.
So I guess, to be honest, I just got that from him. Driving, what was that during the time? The 735i, gray BMW. So I just always wanted to be just like my dad.
Wow. Love it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, fast forward now. Now you're a father, man. Like, how important and how intentional are you about the image, the information, and how you display your life in front of your daughter?
Well, that's a great thing because I became a father a little bit later in life, but due to those points, I'm more intentional with my daughter for this part. When my mother and father split,
Okay.
so when they got a divorce and everything, same thing you said about abandonment aspects in another video with D'Amico's, I felt that. It's like, why is this going on? What did I do? What the fuck's going on? So that shit ripped me to shreds because I just couldn't understand it. Where I'm like, hey, we're the family. Why is this happening? But then you know that everything's on God and the universe timing. So I just had to learn to accept that. And there were times of broken promises from my father, or things that I don't know about, because when the parents are going at it, it's just things that you don't always know. But I was always blessed to have a stepfather, which is my dad. Shout out to you, Pops. And him coming into my life, I learned 2 things from both of them. My dad retired at 39. My stepfather, when he came into my life, he would walk 3 hours, sometimes 4 hours, just to make any money to help take care of our family. So I picked up that element from him. By any means necessary, rain, sleet, snow, fire, you got to make sure you take care of your family. And then I learned then I see my dad at the entrepreneurial side of how he was living, and then he was also a captain at Rikers Island, so he went that route.
Wow.
But then jumped into entrepreneurship and stuff like that. So what I was able to do was take both elements from these two different men and merge them into me. Discard what didn't work.
Wow.
And I said I can add that into me. So I say what I had to say as a father. My brother became a father. Both of my brothers became a father before me. My younger brother passed away in 2020, but I see the impact on his daughter of how she just speaks about him always being there, reading with her, teaching her, all these different things. And then my older brother Wayne, I always looked at him as like Robert Townsend, the Meteor Man. Meaning that if he touch a book, this nigga gonna absorb all the information type shit. So I was like, and I would watch him be a dad, and I'm like, damn, this nigga nice. Being the dad, like, never beat his kids, none of that stuff. And I'm like, we growing up, you don't know what's gonna get thrown at you. Just joking, we ain't get abused, but. So I took all those elements from so many different men and looking at their kids and their behaviors, plus mine, and I said, okay, well, my daughter, I'm just trying to do the best and not damaging her and passing her down a shitload of trauma and shit that she got to work through at a much later age in life. So I'm very intentional with everything about her, whether it's quality time, playing with Play-Doh, going over alphabets, just walking, talking with her. I take her on daddy-daughter dates. She's only 2.5. It doesn't matter what it is. We'll do whatever. She's like, hey, daddy, I want animal crackers. All right, we're going to sit at your table. We're going to have animal crackers. We're going to talk about your day and have you just express yourself. Even if I can't understand all your words, we're going to sit there and
love it
and have that going on. Tell her she's beautiful every day so she doesn't have to look for acceptance outside from anybody. I keep my appearance up so she know how a man is supposed to look when he's outside. How I treat her mom so she knows how she should be talked to, and how do not tolerate any type of disrespect. I make sure I take my ass to the gym so she know that health is important. What you eat is important. She knows that when it comes to being black, I am black.
Love it.
Proud black American. So when it comes to history, I love diving into a lot of our great ancestors that's been here. So I'll watch like Hidden Colors and certain documentaries so the imagery will start to just connect with her. Everything that I say that I am, I have to display that to her. Because there's certain elements I feel that sometimes that you had that's so great that most people don't even know, because you don't always display all that out there. So with my daughter, I'm displaying everything. Like, you're gonna see all this.
Love it.
So I even have a video with me getting ready to start charting in the stock market.
Okay.
And she's like 7 or 8 months, and she's just watching the screen as I'm just enjoying it while I'm just going over this stuff, so it just becomes normalized. So when it comes to my daughter, I'm just giving her all the tools and letting her see what her father is, flaws and all.
Love it.
You know?
Love it.
So that's me as a father.
That was amazing, man.
Yeah. And I crack jokes on her too. So
Very important.
So she know, like, when you get outside, you gotta be able to roast these motherfuckers. But yeah, so.
One of the things that's a little bit different about your life and my life is you've probably lived in more places than I've lived, man. You've been exposed to New York, Arizona, the West Coast. Talk about what you've pulled from those different environments that you've weaved into the tapestry that is Demetrious.
Okay, so growing up, my favorite movie was Boomerang.
Okay.
And Trading Places from Eddie Murphy. Boomerang, because, already having my dad's aesthetic when it comes to fashion and all that,
You don't
I
like,
looked at Marcus Graham. I said, "Yo, that's me.
and you
I'm
don't
a
like ugly
youngin."
feet.
And I knew for a fact I wasn't even supposed to be watching that stuff, but I was like, "Nah, that's me." So I used to always just watch that and like, you know what? That's gonna be me. That's gonna be my vibe. Like I felt like that as a kid. It's funny, but I really felt like that as a kid. So I was just like, I'm gonna have a place in a house that look like this. I'm gonna be able to have, if I thought of, I'm married now, but I just like, thought I would have.
I was waiting to see how you was gonna navigate
I
that.
have a couple of Halle Berrys and all that, but I have one who is, tops that all. But shout out to my wife. But so I looked at that, and that got weaved into New York. But then Trading Places with Eddie Murphy was a very important movie for me because it got to show two different sides of America
Yes.
and what was possible for brothers. So growing up in New York, just to kind of sum this up quick, my older brother Wayne always provided a lot of wisdom, even when I didn't want to hear it growing up as a youngin'. But me and Damien, we were in the street, like moving like Smoke and Stack from Sinners, moving like that, moving and shaking, throwing parties, all that. So very well known in pockets of New York, Queens, Brooklyn, Manhattan. And then it came a point where a lot of attention comes, a lot of hate comes. So we went a lot of jewelry, all this, and I'm just a solid brother. You could be the dude just walking in the club, and I could see you by yourself, and you ain't got nobody going on. It could be me and my bros over here. We got tables, bottles, and a whole crazy entertainment going on. I might invite you up here to come have a drink and come chill out. To my own detriment, one night, niggas plotted on me. I got stabbed 5 times, almost lost my life. I was like 24 at the time. So actually 2 weeks after my birthday. That shit actually happened on Juneteenth.
Wow.
Yeah, actually happened on Juneteenth. How you gonna try to kill a nigga on the blackest holiday? But anyway, that happened on Juneteenth. So I had to transition. Even though I healed, I didn't trust anybody anymore. It didn't matter who it was. I had serious trust issues for a long time. So opportunity came along. I'm in fashion. I'm crushing it. I'm doing my thing in New York. I can cut and sew. You came to me. I can do whatever. They like, hey man, can you take the sleeves off of this and put this on this? So I would take like leather sleeves off of a leather jacket, sew it onto a trench coat, stuff like that. Way back then, before designers started making that a thing. Then with that, I had the opportunity to go to Scottsdale, Arizona, and everybody was just like, yo, man, I was like the glue to everybody. So when I moved from New York, everyone started to break apart from each other. So I go out to Arizona, I don't know anybody. And I was like, damn, I got to get my foot in out here. Wind up meeting I would say God had a brother waiting there for me to build with. His name was Hollis, brother from New Orleans.
Shout out to Hollis.
Shout out to you, brother. So me and him started building out there. I learned a whole different environment, culture shock. I'm in New York, it's fucking snowing like a motherfucker. I get out there, everybody got on shorts, they running and jogging and smiling and shit. I got this heavy ass coat on. And I was like, wow, this is amazing out here. The company I was with at the time was just like, we would love to have you here. We see what you're doing in New York, and we feel that you can really help change the dynamic of fashion in this area. And I thought about it. And I said, you know what? Why not? And I'm a calculated risk taker. Even if I fall on my face, I'm like, shit, I did it. Well, I'm gonna learn something from it. So I went out there and started my journey, started doing my thing out there, but I was open. But there was one brother I met where I was working with a client, and he was trying to give me some game, and he was an older brother, and I kind of didn't want to hear what he was saying. His name was Mobile, and he was just like, Demetrious, you're so talented, but you're hard-headed. And I was just like, he said, you need to open up your mind a little bit more to really reach where you want to reach. And I took that at this time. I'm like 26, I'm 40 now, so I was just like, okay. So when I started to take that in, I started opening myself to bigger possibilities I never even knew was there. I started having clients that actually started to look at me as family, because they started to become my family out there.
Got it.
Because I didn't really have a lot of people coming to visit me out there. So I was really just by myself figuring out who is Demetrious now. And I'm being exposed to like going to one of my clients' house. His house is 20,000 square feet. I ain't never seen nothing like that in my life. I'm just a kid from an area that people never even leave the the town, let alone seeing something like this. And he's blown away and admired by me being able to look at fashion in a certain way and piece things together. I kind of look at fashion like Tetris. I can piece all the different things. And like, how did he get that piece to fit there? Like and I just had that ability to do that. And he was blown away by that. And I'm like, why are you blown away by that? But then I learned that we all got a gift that
Yes.
somebody else needs, and it's not for you to keep, it's to give it away. So as I was giving that away, they started exposing me to the things that I always dreamed about seeing, enjoying, and start meeting people you could never even imagine. Like I never thought, like, damn man, I never thought I would meet this person. Don't want to name drop anybody, but I met some
I've seen pictures.
incredible people, and then it got to a point where I wanted to move to California, and I took my ass to San Diego.
Nice.
Got to San Diego, completely different vibe. First, I want to say Arizona has the most in shape people in America. You don't want to be out of shape in Arizona. It's too damn hot. But San Diego, I grew to another level. I knew I needed to evolve. I guess each city taught me I needed to become the next version of what's needed to grow and prosper. So when I got there, same thing. I don't know anybody. I'm like, shit, I got to build community again. But I was just like, I'm not living open, being open to people and all that. And then I met this one individual one day. I moved into this building on 450 J Street, brand new high rise. I had the view of Mexico. I had the view of all of San Diego and even parts of LA you can see.
Wow.
From my view. Crazy.
Okay.
And I think the part that really hit me where I needed to really evolve was I never seen that many homeless people in my life. So I'm sitting there like, damn, I'm living in this beautiful building, but when I go outside, look at all these people suffering. So the first thing I did before I even unpacked the box, I went to Walmart and I spent as much money as I could just buying fruits, water, you name it, and just giving it to the people. And then I found an organization I can volunteer with, and I used to feed a lot of homeless veterans, kids. Even we helped a few people get off the streets, get jobs, start taking care of their families. So I felt like that was, to me, the most gratifying thing I ever done was being out there with these people. They're like, hey, I see you. Calling them by their first name when I walk down the street so they know they're seen, you know. And then living downtown San Diego, I ain't gonna front, ain't a lot of brothers, so it'd just be like, I'm walking down the street, like, oh, there he go. You know, like that kind of thing. So a lot of great people I met out there, a lot of great relationships. Even my bro Adam, who he lived out there from Brooklyn, so I did have someone that I was able to build with from time to time. But as you know, when you build in yours, you don't really
Have
see
a lot of
each other
time,
like
yeah.
it's high school and stuff like that. I'm trying to see where else to go with it, man. I mean, I had so many different transitions. Still, like, I probably left out something from Arizona, but yeah, man.
Love that.
I lived in San Francisco. I don't know why people think it's cool. I don't like San Francisco.
I know why. We'll leave that one alone.
Yeah, I felt like Eddie Murphy coming to America. I'll leave it there. I'll leave it there.
Wow. So these three transitions, you picked up something from each one, and you kind of weaved that into the tapestry that made you who you are today.
Yes.
And then you land in Atlanta,
Yes.
the Black Mecca.
Yes.
It must have felt like a field day.
Well, I always knew I was gonna move here.
Okay, tell me
I
about
always knew I was
that.
gonna move here. Mom's is here.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, done deal,
mom
done
lives in
deal.
Douglasville, moved
What's up with
here.
that though? A lot of times New Yorkers is like one person from the family migrates, one important person, and
Yes.
everyone follows. Is that true?
It's true, but I think it's just true for like
Period.
period for I would just say for our families and black families. But I just about all black folks have southern roots, so like my mom just came back to what was already at the center. So with her coming here, and I knew eventually we will all get here at some point. I wanted to see what else was out there, you know, really fulfill a lot of different things. And oh yeah, by the way, I left out when I was in California, I was able to work in Hollywood, do red carpets and all that stuff. And I didn't feel fulfilled. I didn't feel like I hit my mark. I dreamed about it, like watch when I'm doing this and doing that. And I'm doing it and I'm like, this
Now
ain't
what?
it. This ain't it. And so I called my older brother at the time, I called Wayne, and I said, bro, I ain't happy here. And everyone just like, bro, you see all the stuff you doing and this, that, and the third. I said, yeah, it looks good for my brother didn't say, but other folks was like, yeah, man. I'm like, it looks good for you, but I'm not happy. Like I don't want to be here anymore. So when I told everybody, I told my brother what my plan was. A lot of people just like, this nigga crazy. I can't believe he's really
You
about to
leave
walk away
this?
from all this. And I said, no, this is my plan. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna come to Atlanta. I'm gonna get over the hump on this. And I said, you know, when I get there, I'll start thriving and doing my thing out there. So it was June 4th, and it's crazy because I'm actually on the clock to be a dad 2 times, and the baby's supposed to be due June 4th. But
Congratulations.
yes, thank you. It's June 4th, 2018, and I went to Mission Beach, and it was a blood moon. Moon was red and huge and big, and I made my decision that day where I'm like, all right, we're going to Atlanta. And I wound up coming to Atlanta the end of September. And thank God for having community because I didn't leave the best way because I just felt my soul suffering. So I was willing to walk through hell to get to heaven. And having my mother, my sister, and family here, it helped me just keep my mind focused on this is where I'm going. I know people are just like, you couldn't see it, but I knew I was going to get there. And that's what brought me to Atlanta.
Love it. Love it. Let's back up for a moment because one of the things we talk about and build your personal economy is every man needs a grief plan. And I've lost a few people that I love dearly, and I know you have. Mm-hmm. Talk to me a little bit about, as much as you can, the experience of losing not just your brother, your best friend, your partner in crime, your ace. What did that look like? How did it impact you? And what was your response time to that adversity?
When it first happened, I didn't believe that shit.
So
I did not believe that shit at all. I felt like I died with him. It took me a long time. I guess like moving off of talent, I was still functioning, but I was moving like a zombie. I didn't give a fuck about nothing for a long time till I had to figure out that I'm carrying the torch for. It wasn't just his torch. I felt like we were carrying the torch together. So I'm just like, all right, this is as far as he could take it. All right, I'm gonna run this shit to the finish line for us. So losing him, he has a daughter here, so I feel like I'm a huge example for being that extension to his daughter. And just a conversation we had on the phone one time, when I let it play back, it was like he was trying to prepare me for making sure that I do what I need to do. What I said I was going to do, accomplish that because she's going to need me there.
Wow.
So when I look back at it now, it kind of gives me like, it's like my superpower now. Like when I think about him and all that, you know, and I think about that things he done in a short period of time. So yeah, it took a lot, because sometimes some folks you could lose and it's a wrap. Some people don't know how to really just deal with the grief, and you're always gonna be healing, but you just become stronger on the journey. So yeah, it was crazy. It's crazy.
How important was community at that particular time? And did you allow community to access you in a way where they could actually help?
Yes and no. And then sometimes you can't always expect that people know what you need, because they're not mind readers. They ain't gonna know shit if you don't open up and tell them what you need and being vulnerable for your people to help you. That's another
Huge.
thing. But I want to tap back into this one thing. Before that happened,
Let's go.
brotherhood started forming. So I'm working at this one company. I don't want to give them no. I ain't gonna say their name, but you know the company where I met
I'm with
you.
you.
So Damon comes in, and I'm helping Damon. And I meet Damon first, and I'm getting him ready for.
And I sent Damon over there.
Rocking with a suit and all that. And then we connected, and he's just like, "Oh, my brother's name is this," and I'm like, "My brother's name is that," and I said, "Dope." So I think maybe like a week come by out of nowhere. He comes with John. John got an overcoat and leather gloves on. I'm talking about the half-cut gloves. I'm like, look at this dude. But he's fly. And then from there, from the time I met John with Damon, it just became like an instant thing where I'm like, this feels different than any other brothers that I've met out here in Atlanta. And then I opened up to Damon about a lot of things that I was going through, and we met at a Starbucks, and we were just talking about life and everything. And he said, "Bro, I just finished going through that season. You gonna get there." And then the more and more me and Damon kept building, I would meet you, then me and you started connecting, and I got your number, and we started hanging out. Then you invited me over to Reese to meet Reese, and then I'm like, damn, then I'm like, from there, then I'm meeting AG, then from AG, then I meet the Migos, and I'm like, damn, these are some of the dopest. This is what me and my brothers always wanted, like an actual brotherhood of like real bros, man. So it was a point where I felt like I didn't belong, like it was too good to be true,
Wow.
because of always getting backstabbed, all this other stuff. And I'm like, what did I do to deserve to be around these dope brothers? I really felt like that. And then I think Damon could see me thinking it. So he grabbed me by my shoulder and went, "You know you belong here, right?"
Wow.
And my soul settled from there.
Wow. That's amazing.
And all of y'all helped me in more ways you can imagine. I raised my game to a whole nother level. Like, I'm talking about, like, I mean this humbly, I felt like I took LeBron, Kobe, and Jordan with a little bit of Akeem Olajuwon, and you add Wembayamba in there. Like, I felt like I took that because each one of y'all were like one of them. Like the Monstars, but on the good side. And I added that to me. So, like, I'm like, I was saying earlier in the conversation, I'm like a right now kind of individual. So if I see something that you doing that work, I'm going to do it right now.
Right now.
So
I like that about you though, because there's people that you can put in an environment and that's all you have to do.
Yeah.
And they're going to absorb and grab what they need. You don't have to spoon feed them. You just got to put them in the environment and they'll take care of the rest. What advice would you give to the young man or young lady that's watching this? And they got access to the environment, but they haven't done what you've done by taking what you needed from the environment in the season that you were in to become a better version of yourself.
I would tell you, there's people that want to help you if you want to help yourself. And if you want to help yourself, you're going to surprise yourself and not surprise yourself. And what I mean by that is you surprise yourself because you're like, wow, this is there. But then you're like, oh, I knew I was capable of getting there. But people will pour into you, seeking mentorship, knowing that you don't know everything. Like, there are amazing people in this world that want to see you thrive despite all the noise that's out there. There are people that want to see you win. I'm one of them, John's one of them, AG's one of them, D'Amico's, Wayne, Reese, Damon. I mean, you name it. God wants you to win. It's just, do you want to win? Do you want to learn these things? Are you willing to put in the work? And it's just like who you become with putting in the work is more gratifying to me than obtaining the shiny object because of the information and everything I had to go through to become that man, you know? Like, I think one of the dopest things, I'll jump topic to this, was one of my friends came to visit me in California. This motherfucker made 40, excuse my language, well, this dude made 40 grand in like 7 minutes on my couch. And I said, what am I doing wrong? But to have that, and he's just like, brother, stock market, man, you need to learn the game. And I was like, okay, I ain't gonna front. I let it go in one ear out the other for a little bit. And then I think in 2018 is when I took it serious.
Okay.
I said, all right, I'm gonna learn this game. He said, first, just look at the first commodities ever sold. What was the first stocks? What was Wall Street built on? And then when I had to look at the first things that were sold on Wall Street was our ancestors. That was it for me. Well, I was like, all right, yeah, I'm gonna do my thing when it comes to this here. And you know, but if I wasn't exposed to that, but then also willing to do the work to learn, none of that stuff would have been possible. Bought my engagement ring from that. Going to Jamaica and getting married there, new home, all these different things help. Just learning a skill like that open up all these other.
Wow. And that was easy to do and easy not to do.
Yes.
Wow. I'm going to pass the baton to you. I think I might have another question, but
Yeah.
what questions, if any, do you have for me?
What was the toughest adversity you had to face? And what was your outlets to keep you from not going in the other direction when it's so easy to go that way? To keep you on the right path from completely going left?
I'll answer the question kind of in reverse. I'll say this. Growing up, I always anticipated and planned on beginning my life on the wrong path. I grew up and my mom dated like the biggest drug dealer in the city, and I felt like, okay, I'm watching, I'm observing, and the people that have what I desire are living a certain lifestyle, and I had no other example. So I anticipated, you know, just being a much better version of what he was. And because I never went that route, that's what kept me from derailing when my mother passed. And I had a really unique relationship with my mom, man. She was like my best friend. Like, we would talk on the phone until 3 a.m. I could be having a conversation with my mom, and the woman I was dating would get jealous. Like, who's that? It's my mom. But you couldn't tell based on our communication style. And I always had a way that allowed me to be there for her in her time of need. So there was some level of guilt that I held inside when I wasn't able to be there for her when she needed me the most, man. And I'm still struggling with that, bro. I'm not the same version of John I was. I'm working my way back to that, and I'm going to surpass that version, but I still haven't made it to that point yet, man. Like, I've always oozed with joy, positivity, ridiculous confidence. I'll say the things that only people think about and get away with it.
Yeah,
I haven't completely leaned back into that because I'm still dealing with the fact that there's people that'll leave this world, and when they leave this world, the world is not the same to you anymore.
Yeah.
And then you have to figure out, how do I reinterpret what this world means to me now in the absence of someone that was so impactful, man. And quite to, like you said, I had to trick myself into saying it's my responsibility to carry the baton. It's my responsibility to live out the gifts she didn't get to express. And she's also the reason I got into fashion. But yeah, But I didn't derail because I had already entertained that route and realized it wasn't what was designed for me. Plus, I have a horrible temper. I'd have been locked up. So, but that's it, man. I appreciate it, bro. Anything else that you didn't get to share about you, not about me?
About me, some dope things about. I would say my mom. Me and my brothers couldn't fight like that. She would make us hug each other in the same shirt. She would make us put on the same.
Whoa!
Make us put on the same shirt. Like, y'all fighting? Put that shirt on. And make us hug each other.
Who wants to do that?
But write love letters to each other on why we supposed to be together and look out for each other.
Wow.
So my mom really instilled some core elements on how brothers and siblings should be. Because my mom, it's like maybe 16 of them.
Okay. So she knows.
So yeah, those elements. But
So tell me this though, you did not want to do those hugs, right?
hell no, who want to do that? Man,
Hey, I don't want to fight because I don't want to hug.
You don't want to
In
do
the
all
same
that. But
shirt.
when I look back at it now, even like recently, me and my wife was over my mom's house, and she had gave me a box, and it had letters that I wrote to my brother when we were kids.
Wow.
Powerful. I'm 40 years old. We talking about something when I was like 8. She still has it. So my mom keeping those core elements right there is why I try to make sure I pass down with my daughter, but also give that to my brothers and friends. Like, yo, man, if I say I'm with you, I'm with you. You know.
I respect that. I love it.
Shout out to my sister.
Oh yeah.
Love you. Another dope individual that I've had. My wife, I want to tell you I love you. I always knew who I needed to be 5 years ahead each time. Like even right now, I'm 40. I'm already building Demetrious at 45 and 50 because I know what you need at those moments more than you probably can imagine. Just to let you know that.
Love it, man. Guys, this has been another epic episode. I appreciate you, man. I love you to life.
Always.
My brother.